Hi, this is Jill Varvel with the Dixie Cast podcast, The Sound of the South. Today I'm in front of the Ozarks Sportsman sporting goods store where, among other things, they offer axe throwing. Have not tried axe throwing before and have noticed since moving to Northwest Arkansas, I've seen a few opportunities. So this one kind of struck my fancy today, so we're going to go inside and check it out.
I'm James, Ozarks Sportsman. This is our axe throwing section of our business here. We have indoor shooting range, a golf simulator, axe and knife throwing, and indoor bow range as well. Um, so today we're going to do the axe throwing. So for you, we're going to have two different weight axes. This one's a little bit heavier. This one's a little bit lighter. And that's just some people can throw one better than the other. This is a curved shaft. This has a straight shaft. These are more like the professional style. A little heavier head, so they tend to rotate a little easier. What we'll do with these is we'll only throw one at a time. We'll retrieve it, throw it again. That way we're not running one into the next and just breaking our axes. But with the heavier head, it tends to rotate easier. So you're not trying to throw it hard. You're really just trying to figure out where that rotation is going to hit flat into the target so that you're actually hitting the blade. These aren't extremely sharp by any means, and it's pretty soft wood, so it's nothing crazy as far as that goes. But just kind of like throwing horseshoes or anything like that, you can't go past the red line. You got to stay behind it. But say how I do is I try to use that line in the floor as a reference point.
Sure.
And say when I throw, if the axe hits late, I know I need to step a little bit closer so I get it earlier in the rotation. Or if it's hitting this way, I need to step back a little bit so it hits later in the rotation. So you're always trying to throw it the same hardness so you get that same rotation. So basically, if I throw it the same way every time, all I've got to do is adjust how far forward or how far back I stand. And really the weight of the axe head's going to do the rest of it. So it's not having to throw it really hard. It's not a wrist and elbow thing. You really want to keep your arm at like a 90-degree angle. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
So it's like throwing a baseball. You want to step into it with your left, rotate forward, and you're not trying to do everything here. It's kind of like a whole body turn. But really it's just projecting that forward and straight like this, because the wood grain runs straight up and down. If you hit this way, it's a lot less apt to stick in because you're going against the wood grain. But if you hit it straight up and down, the way the wood grain runs, it's much more apt to stick in easier anyway. Really, that's about the long and short of it. If you want to step up to the side a little bit, I'll throw it a couple times here and just try to give you like a demonstration. So I start with my feet together. I'll step into it just like I'm throwing a baseball. You don't have to come way back or anything like that. Just come back where it's comfortable. Lean forward, and then you're just coming forward and literally letting it go and letting that axe rotate. You just want to have that same release over and over again. Like I said, adjust your forward and back stance to accommodate where the axe rotates. So I do this a little bit, and you'll see sometimes it'll stick a little easier, the wood will hold a little bit more. It's really not throwing it hard, it's just getting that rotation down, so you step into it and throw.
Wow.
You can see like even this hit a little bit of an angle. Like I said, the more angle you go this way, the harder it is to stick in because the wood grain runs this way. So the more forward or vertical you hit it with the axe head, the easier it's going to stick in there, and the deeper it'll stick in too.
Now, did I see one rotation in the air? It doesn't matter. Is there an optimal flip?
Basically this distance with this weight axe head is going to give you one full rotation.
Okay.
So that's all you're doing here. Like I said, just move a little bit closer, a little bit further away, depending on how you throw, to make that one rotation hit squarely this way. So same thing, just step into it.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of those things, it'll take you 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, say 30 throws, and all of a sudden you'll start getting that same rotation down, and you'll move yourself forward and backwards to the point where you're starting to hit more steadily. It's not hard. It's a lot of fun. If you get a group together, the numbers indicate you can do first 1 to 20 points, or there's a lot of different games you can play, like darts, kind of like a cricket style thing. It's really whatever you want to do with it.
The numbers represent the point? Is that how that? Okay.
So you'd be 5 points in your center, and then 4, 3, 2, and 1 out, and with not sticking at all, 0 points. And we have dry erase boards like that, so if you're here not by yourself and come with a group or whatever, you can compete.
Wow.
Definitely a good time.
How long have you been doing this? Just curious.
My wife and I went one time, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Had a blast doing it. We've had this in this store for, say, 3 years probably, and I've only maybe played half a dozen times, to be honest with you. So it's not a horribly hard thing to do, but I do the demonstrations quite a bit.
Okay.
So I probably throw 3 or 4 times a day, you know what I mean, for only 3 or 4 throws. So I mean, it's not, once you kind of get that feeling down, it's not too hard to replicate.
Very cool. Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to embarrass myself now and try to.
Let's have you try it out.
Okay.
It's stuck.
First time.
Doesn't take long.
Yeah. The sinking sound of that axe in the wall feels cathartic, and unlike, say, darts, the motion of using your body to throw the axe feels natural and satisfying. Did you know that axe throwing has become an Olympic sport? Who knew? So the process at Ozarks Sportsman was very easy. I didn't even have an appointment. I showed up and let the staff know I was a walk-in who'd never been there before. They handed me a laptop, and I entered my name, birth date, phone number, address, and emergency contact, and then I electronically signed the waiver. I paid my $20.99, and then James and Krista led me over to the axe throwing lanes. In addition to axe throwing, they also offer knife throwing, an archery area, an indoor shooting range, and a golf simulator. They offer a variety of classes like concealed carry and firearm safety, among other safety-related classes. What I like most about Ozarks Sportsman is it's not a franchise. So when you patronize them, you're supporting a small business. Had to stop and take a selfie to demonstrate that anyone, after throwing an axe a few hundred times, can hit the target. It's not impossible. At this point, I switched axes in favor of the lighter weight axe. I started off abysmally, but just as before, got accustomed to the weight and the motion, and pretty soon experienced a moderate level of success.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though we meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also may view. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all our way if we keep on the sunny side of life.
Gotta take another selfie, but as it often does, pride came before my ultimate descent into chaos and tragedy, as after this selfie, I probably had 2 more successful throws. Oh well, at least at that point, the minutes were ticking until my hour was up. One other thing I'll mention, as it can get a little repetitive to keep walking over to pick up that axe, I made a little game of it so as to see how many throws I could get in the remainder of my session. I'm not going to tell you how many or how few I landed, but it did serve to be a mild workout, for which, coupled with fun, to me, is a win. This was a lot of fun, but I have to say, it's not easy. And the weirdest thing about it, I found personally, was that it felt so arbitrary. Like, for a while there, I'd be on a roll, and then I would completely suck, and I could not get an axe to hit that wall for anything. So this was fun, but it's not easy. It's definitely a skill sport. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I had no idea how much of a skills-intensive sport axe throwing is. I'm deeply grateful to James, the store manager, not to mention Krista, who assisted me with kind of a tour of the store and just sharing with me all of the bountiful wherewithal Ozarks Sportsman provides here. So I hope next time you're in the area and you have some interest in axe throwing or archery or shooting or any other of the many opportunities afforded by this store, that you'll stop in and check them out. This is Jill Varvel with the Dixie Cast podcast, The Sound of the South. We'll see you next time for another heaping helping of Southern comfort for your ears.